Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches: Philadelphia 76ers vs Atlanta Hawks, Boston Celtics vs San Antonio Spurs, and Brooklyn Nets vs Portland Trail Blazers, which are happening on Friday, April 30th, 2021, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes. Let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. So I am going to start off by talking about the Philadelphia 76ers vs Atlanta Hawks match. 2 nights after the Philadelphia 76ers handed the Atlanta Hawks a 44-point spanking, the two teams meet again. The Hawks were short-handed, to say the least, forced to start Lou Williams, Brandon Goodwin, and Solomon Hill. Hill recorded a -35+/-, while Goodwin finished at -39. No 76ers starter played more than 26 minutes, and their stellar starting five was back together. With few games left in the regular season, that could prove crucial for Philadelphia heading into the playoffs. Trae Young has missed the Hawks' last 4 games, during which they are 2-2 due to an ankle sprain. Atlanta's goal is to avoid the play-in tournament. The Hawks are currently 5th in the Eastern Conference, 1 game ahead of the 7-seed Miami Heat. A healthy Hawks team would be one that no one would want to face in the playoffs. They've been without Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter for a while, although the latter is nearing a return and is likely to get some regular season action under his belt before the playoffs. The Sixers are a different team with their starting five of Seth Curry, Danny Green, Simmons, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid. Unfortunately, there have been periods in the second half of the season when Simmons and Embiid have been out, so they haven't been able to get in much of a rhythm. Philadelphia's defense is so good, though, that it can compete with anyone on any given night. Simmons is hugely valuable on the perimeter given his size, while Embiid is a one-man wrecking crew down low. Offensively, the 76ers' combination of size and athleticism allows them to thrive when healthy, despite not having many knockdown three-point shooters in a league that seemingly requires them. The Atlanta Hawks are still a banged-up basketball team that's now losing their last 5 games by an average of 9.2 points while allowing 50.5% shooting from the field. The Philadelphia 76ers win at home by an average of 8 points and 8.4 points in the favorite role, and they just comfortably beat the Hawks a couple of days ago. The 76ers are 18-12-1 against the spread at home. Both the Hawks and 76ers are 6 games over .500 against the spread this season, but only one is healthy and playing well at the moment. Philadelphia will be able to ramp up everyone in its rotation's minutes and handle this one comfortably. My betting advice for that game is to pick Philadelphia 76ers -9. So I am going to start off by talking about the Boston Celtics vs San Antonio Spurs match. 2 teams jockeying for playoff position in their respective conferences meet Friday as the Boston Celtics host the San Antonio Spurs. The Celtics are tied for 6th in the Eastern Conference at 33-30, while the Spurs are 31-30 and tied for 8th in the Western Conference. The Spurs suffered a blow when guard Derek White went down with a season-ending injury recently, but they have been playing pretty good basketball and find themselves in the mix in the Western Conference, tied for 8th with the Memphis Grizzlies at 31-30. The Spurs have won 5 of their last 7 games, but they are coming off a 116-111 loss to the Miami Heat. DeJounte Murray led the Spurs with a triple-double. Murray had 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 11 assists. The good thing about hitting rock bottom is there is nowhere to go but up. The Celtics have been in a funk lately and have underachieved all season. They came into Wednesday's game against Charlotte having lost 4 of their last 5, including an embarrassing 119-115 loss to an Oklahoma City Thunder team that had lost 14 straight. The Celtics bounced back from that loss with a 120-111 win over the Charlotte Hornets on Wednesday. The Spurs are 23-9-1 ATS in their last 33 road games and 3-0-1 ATS in their last 4 games overall. The Celtics are 7-15-1 ATS in their last 23 games following a straight-up win and 6-13 ATS in their last 19 games following an ATS win. The under is 6-2 in Spurs' last 8 overall. The under is 11-4 in Celtics' last 15 home games. The Spurs are 14-3-1 ATS in the last 18 meetings in Boston and 15-5-1 ATS in the last 21 meetings. The Boston Celtics need a win after losing 4 of their last 6 games. The Boston Celtics are averaging 112.1 points on 46.6% shooting and allowing 110.4 points on 46.2% shooting. Jason Tatum is averaging 25.8 points and 7.4 rebounds, while Jaylen Brown is averaging 24.9 points and 3.4 assists. Kemba Walker is the third double-digit scorer and Marcus Smart is grabbing 3.3 rebounds. The Boston Celtics are shooting 37% from beyond the arc and 77.7% from the free throw line. The Boston Celtics are allowing 37.1% shooting from deep and are grabbing 44.4 rebounds per game. The Boston Celtics are a hard team to figure out. When you lose to the Thunder at home, that's obvious. They have the talent to beat anyone in the NBA, but they have consistently fallen short of competing against the elites. Conversely, the Spurs are not very talented, yet they seem to always play well against the good teams and typically play well on the road. Their record against the spread, especially on the road, is excellent. The Celtics are favored here, but they tend to shrink in the fourth quarter. The Celtics may pull out the win, but they'll do it hanging on for dear life. Tail the Spurs here to cover. My betting advice for that game is to pick San Antonio. Now I'm going to be talking about the Brooklyn Nets versus Portland Trail Blazers match. The Brooklyn Nets hope to see Kyrie Irving back on the court when they host the Portland Trail Blazers on Friday night. Irving has experienced periodic groin issues this season, and the latest bout of soreness caused him to miss Thursday night's 130-113 road victory over the Indiana Pacers. Brooklyn coach Steve Nash would prefer seeing Irving on the floor versus Portland and Kevin Durant seated on the bench. Durant matched his season high of 42 points in 36 minutes during the rout of the Pacers in the front end of a back-to-back. Nash said he would rather have Blake Griffin, 14 minutes versus the Pacers, play for the second straight night than Durant, who recently returned from a thigh injury and missed 23 games with a hamstring injury earlier in the season. Nash said the decision might not be reached until close to tip-off, but he certainly is impressed with Durant's recent play for the Nets, 43-20, who lead the Eastern Conference by 1.5 games over the Philadelphia 76ers. Durant recorded 10 assists, made 16 of 24 field goal attempts and hit all 8 free throws in a strong all-around effort against Indiana. Brooklyn also received a stellar performance from Alice Johnson, who had the best contest of his 44-game NBA career with 20 points and a career-high 21 rebounds. Trailblazers are 3-8 ATS in their last 11 games versus a team with a winning straight-up record. The Nets are 4-1 ATS in their last 5 home games and 4-1 ATS in their last 5 games overall. The over is 7-3 in Trailblazers' last 10 road games. The over is 5-1 in Nets' last 6 home games. The Trailblazers are 0-4 ATS in the last 4 meetings. The Brooklyn Nets look for a win after winning 6 of their last 8 games. The Brooklyn Nets are averaging 118.6 points on 49.3% shooting and allowing 114.2 points on 46.3% shooting. Kevin Durant is averaging 27.1 points and 5.1 assists, while Kyrie Irving is averaging 26.9 points and 5 rebounds. James Harden is the third double-digit scorer and Joe Harris is dishing 1.9 assists. The Brooklyn Nets are shooting 38.8% from beyond the arc and 80.5% from the free throw line. The Brooklyn Nets are allowing 36.7% shooting from deep and are grabbing 44.4 rebounds per game. The Portland Trail Blazers have the rest advantage and need to win as they continue to fight for playoff seeding, but they've been inconsistent as all hell and aren't a team I back with much confidence these days. The Brooklyn Nets are on the end of a back-to-back, but they continue to win and cover numbers, so I'm not sure it matters much. My betting advice for that game is to pick Brooklyn Nets plus 1.5. Good luck to all of you. That's it for this video. Stay tuned and stay safe for the next betting tips and advice.